Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be doing this Bachelorette cookie decorating class with you guys. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there to do it in person, but it's still going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to be doing a cat themed animal print cookies today. So what we have is we have a cat cookie and we have a few of these. I have 3, you guys only have 2. But that's because I'm just going to kind of show you some different options that you can do with them, and a hexagon and a heart. The colors that we have are brown, tan, black, orange, and white for our animal print. Typically, a class just comes with 3 colors, but I kind of did a little bit extra for you guys because you kind of need a little more colors if you wanted to do more than one type of animal print. But some other things, this is a tray here that spins. You do not need this. You could just put your cookies. I just like using it when I decorate. It's nice. You need to have some scissors on hand to cut the tips. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Something that you could use is a spatula. This is just a cake spatula. If you wanted to use a knife, you don't need this, but this is if you want to smooth out your buttercream, because we are using buttercream today. And then a piece of parchment paper. This is also going to help us smooth out some of our cookies if that's what you want to do. This is a scribe tool. I typically use these when I do royal icing, but they are kind of nice to have on hand. I'm not sure we'll be using it that much, but this is just kind of a nice tool if you want to kind of just like move things around with. And it's handy to have a damp paper towel. So the first thing I'm gonna do is show you how to cut your bags. So because this is buttercream and not royal icing, it's a lot easier to work with. You don't need, if I was doing royal icing, I would only cut a tiny, tiny amount, but we can actually cut a decent amount. So if you can, trying to see if you can see that, I'm probably gonna cut about, I don't know if you can see that, about that much off, just like that. And then these are tipless bags. It means you don't need to use a tip. They're kind of designed to have a rounded off edge. Just kind of open it up like that, and there you go. If you want to just kind of squeeze some out, that looks pretty good. The size, if you want it to be bigger, obviously cut it bigger, but obviously you can always cut bigger, you can't go smaller. So that's about the size that you are going to want to cut your bags. Okay, so we're ready to start decorating. We're going to start with this shape right here. It's actually a heart that we just cut the bottom part off. And you have 2 of these. One of them is going to be a bra, and one of them is going to be underwear. And we're going to start with leopard print, but you guys, as you watch this, you can choose if you wanted to do tiger print as well. I'll show you that on another cookie. So you guys can kind of pick and choose. Now, I did just take mine out of the fridge. If you guys were refrigerating these, just make sure that they come, you kind of might need to massage them a little bit and bring them to a little bit to room temperature, because if they are really cold, it's, they're a little bit harder to work with, but it's not a big deal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start here, kind of right by where that heart point is, and I'm just gonna curve to here. And you wanna put a decent amount of pressure on so that it doesn't break. And if it does break, you can see like mine just broke a little bit. You can use your scribe tool just to kind of push it back down. It really doesn't matter because we're going to smooth all this out anyways. And then we're also going to do another curve going this way. And then I'm just gonna outline. We're not gonna go all the way to the top, but I'm just gonna outline the bottom part here where that was. And then I'm gonna go almost all the way up, and then I'm gonna go across and then come back down. And that's gonna kind of give us our underwear shape here. And then we're just gonna kind of go back and forth, and just fill it in. Like that. And then to smooth it out, you guys are gonna use your parchment paper that I gave to you. And you're going to place it over the top, and you can actually use your spatula, you can actually use your finger for this, and you're just gonna lightly press and start smoothing that out. And it's not gonna be totally perfect, so if I if I peel that up and it kind of brings it up a little bit, just use that scribe tool to push it back down. And then I'm gonna use my knife or my spatula, and I'm gonna really gently, just kind of really lightly, I'm just brushing the top just to kind of get rid of those lines that we made when we went back and forth. And it doesn't have to be perfect, I'm just literally getting rid of them, because I'm gonna go back over it with my parchment paper again for one final smooth over. And you can also use your finger too if you want. And then just make sure that you're not gonna pull it all up when you pull it off. And it should be pretty smooth. And if you don't like any of the edges, you can use your scribe tool and just kind of tidy things up if you would like. So that's kind of our little underwear. Now you can do any kind of underwear. If you wanted to do a thong, if you go on Pinterest, there's tons of ideas for these. You can do any type of underwear that you want. You can do granny panties, you can do a thong, you can do these, you could do anything. So to make the leopard print, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our brown and we're gonna kind of just do different, like I kind of just did a half circle there. I might do another kind of blob there. So they're all gonna be kind of different shapes and sizes going different directions. Now we are gonna smooth this out as well. So you don't want them too close together or too big, because they kind of spread out when you do that. But I'm just gonna kind of, some are big, some might be small. Just like that. And then you're gonna take your black and you're gonna kind of half outline it. I might put a black dot in the center of that half circle, and then I also might outline part of it as well. Some of them might have two, like on the inside and on the outside. Some might just have one. So we're gonna let these dry for a little bit while we do the top part. So I'm gonna start with my tan. And this one, I am going to kind of just make, kind of almost is gonna look like an 8 here. Oops. See, and if you mess up like this, it's super easy to just scrape it off and start over again. Like that. And then I'm gonna do the straps that are gonna go up to the top. All right, and then we have our bra shape. So again, we're gonna smooth this out. To fix mine. All right, and now we're gonna add our animal print. So we're just gonna do the same thing. And then we're gonna set this aside and let this dry. And in the meantime, we can pull this one back out and try and smooth this one. And it's really lightly, you don't wanna put too much pressure on it. And then you're just gonna pull up, and then it kind of just flattens it out a little bit. So the other thing that you can do with this is if you want, you could also write bride on it. You could write a funny word. You can, maybe use your white and write something on it. Anything, you guys can be really creative and go all out. But that's kind of the bra and underwear set right there. So our next cookie is gonna be our heart, and we're gonna do a tiger print on this. It's gonna be kind of the same concept as before, as we're going to outline and fill it all in one color and then go over the top with the animal print. So for a tiger, we're going to use our orange. And I'm just going to outline. It's better if when you use royal icing, and this is why I always have to kind of catch myself because I'm used to royal icing, is you want to pull up and let that icing fall. But with buttercream, you kind of want to keep it close to the cookie as you go, so you don't want it to break. So some people, I mean, I could have done that a little bit neater, but I am gonna smooth mine out. But some people actually like the look of this, so they don't smooth it out. For some of our other cookies, we're gonna kind of leave this style, or I'll show you what it would look like if we did leave it. But it's just kind of a personal preference if you guys want to smooth that out yourself. So I'm gonna go ahead. I like the way that looks. And then we're gonna go in with our black. So tiger stripes, just kind of go in from each side, really. Let's get this straightened out. So we can just kind of make these a line that goes in that way, a line that goes that way, and we're just gonna kind of keep going in. Some of them are a little curved. They're all gonna be different. I really don't think there's any wrong way. Some of them might actually have, you know, that V shape. So I'm gonna do one end of my heart, and then I'm gonna do the other side. And just like that. So if you wanted to do this pattern with the brown underwear, you could. It doesn't matter. Again, I'm gonna let this kind of crust over before I flatten it out. All right, so our next cookie that we're gonna do is our cat. And for this one, you guys can choose whatever color you're gonna wanna do it. And I'll show you how to kind of outline that tail. All right, so for this one, I'm gonna use white. We'll make this one a white cat. I'm gonna make, I might cut my hole just a little bit bigger. But for this one, I think I'm gonna actually leave the back and forth pattern on it. If you would like to smooth yours out, go for it. I'm gonna just show you kind of what the finished product would look like if we left it that way. So we're gonna outline the head, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it down this way, and we're gonna fill all of this in here. And then we'll outline the tail separate and then fill it in. So it's gonna look like two separate parts. All right, so there's the initial outline, and this one's gonna be really simple. We're just gonna put a little detail on the face for its eyes. I'm gonna use the black. And I'm actually gonna do a little dot for the nose first, just to show me where the center is. Like that. And then I'm gonna kind of do a little curve because I'm gonna have her eyes be closed. Then I'm gonna try and put a little eyelash. Actually, fix that. A little eyelash, and then I'm gonna do some whiskers going straight out. And there's our little cat. Now, I kind of can see my whiskers here are kind of close together, so I might use my scribe tool and just kind of pull that up just like that, just so they're not all touching each other. Now, and again, if you want to smooth out that icing and do another design, if you wanted to maybe outline that, you could really do whatever you wanted. If you wanted to make little paws coming right here, it's whatever you want, but I kind of like the little simple white cat. You could make this a tiger and use the tiger print on it, whatever you wanted to do. Now, speaking of the tiger, I am gonna go ahead and smooth this out. I do really want to make sure I'm careful because I don't want to pull that up, but I do just want to lightly push that down just to flatten it out just a little bit. You don't even have to do this step. You could technically skip this, but oh, good. Let me just do the bottom. There we go. Again, all that kind of did was just flatten it out a little bit. So for this last one, it can be really whatever kind of cookie you want. You can play around with the different animal prints that I've done so far. You can put writing on it. You could just do a white cookie and make a little cat on it. This one is going to be kind of whatever you want. So I'm going to do one that has some writing on it. And I think what I'm going to do is the leopard print. So I'm going to take my tan. So after it sat for a minute, I'm gonna do one last. Smooth over. All right, it's pretty flat now. And then what we're gonna do is, I think it would be kind of cute. I love some of the sayings. You could say get wild. You could say getting meowied. I like last meow before the vow. So I think that's what I'm gonna write. And I'm gonna do it in white just so it stands out. Actually, I might do it in orange. Might do it in orange, just to be a little bit different here. It really doesn't matter. Not perfect, but it's still cute. Last meow before the vow. So you guys can kind of just play around with this cookie and do whatever you guys would like to do. So I hope that you all enjoyed this cookie class, and that you kind of learned how to make some different cat patterns using buttercream. If you guys have any questions when you guys are decorating, please don't hesitate to reach out. I will be available.